Um, hello. Hello. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Hello? Hey. I'm being bad. I'm being naughty. I'm using my model. I'm using it. Don't tell anyone. Oh my god, there's cats. There's cats everywhere. Hi. Hi, Therapraxis. Hi. Hello. Ohio. Ohio. How's it going? Everyone having a good day? Is it going good? Anything cool? My day was kind of boring. A wee bit boring. Where's the thing to turn on the light in this place? My lighting's bad. Oh well, okay. I actually don't know if it's good. If I turn on a lamp, I might blow a breaker. We wouldn't want that to happen. That would not be good. No. It would be very bad. So today, I'm gonna tell you about Monday. Oh, thank you for the head pads. Hold on. I have to do the head pads manually. I haven't set it up for this model, but should be right in here. Just take those memories. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you had a good day. My day was slow, wee bit boring, and where's chat? Oh, chat is there. It's like I'm hiding chat with my big brain. Who needs chat? Anyway, hi. So basically, let's see what else happened today. I had a McChicken for lunch. That was very good. I had a boring afternoon. Work was slow, but I got to leave like a little bit early, a tiny bit early, only that early. But also found out I'm gonna have to take Barney, my cat Barney, which you guys probably have seen pictures of the Barnster. He's gotta go get x-rays to see if he has the asthmas, because he might. I'm pretty confident that he has asthma from what I know and have seen. So yeah, find out if he has asthma, and then I can get him some medicine, which is probably expensive, but you know, whatever, and make him more comfortable, so it doesn't affect his life and the life expectancy. That's for sure. That's probably the most important. I want him to live forever. So I'll have to see about that. Anything else? I feel like that was another thing I was gonna tell you guys. Oh yeah, I'm being naughty and using my motto. Bad. But I just I really want to. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna talk about how I'm basically TikTok famous now. I don't know if you have TikTok, but I got a TikTok. Yeah, the Discord notifications are always like back a Discord. It's a back. Yeah, it's always late. But yeah, anyway, I made a TikTok and it's got 10,000. Allah. Wow. I spent a lot of time yesterday working on TikToks. I was like, so I'm in like 21 or 20, I think 21, yeah, 21 TikToks. I pre-made them all, so then I can post them, and they're all ready to be posted. I'm excited. I like them. They're very good, and I worked hard on them, so I'm like, yeah, making TikToks is fun. What else? But yeah, so now I'm like zooming on TikTok. Actually, I think a lot of the newer followers, I don't know if any of them are here right now, but I believe a lot of them are from TikTok, because I came back to a lot of followers on my OBS, and I was like, huh. Congrats on being first, Terry, and the daily check-in. Oh, hold on. Guys, I didn't open this thing. I didn't open... I forgot to... Guys, I'm a terrible streamer. I thought I put it in this folder, and I didn't. Hold on.
IOD's Love Pastel 141 hearts.
Yeah, I forgot to open Mix It Up. Hold on. Skip the update. Login. Okay. I did this thing, which has the daily check. And thank you, Mari. Thank you. Oh my gosh. 14 months. Wow. I need to add it. Where is it? Hold on. I'm putting it. I have this folder. And I call it my streaming folder. And I open everything that's in this folder every time I stream. I didn't put it in my streaming folder, but now it's in there. Okay. Hi, Racer. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Anyway, it is open now. So, if we do this here, for example... Ta-da! If you guys check in every day, you get a counter for how many times you check in. Yeah. Oh. Well, I might have to adjust. Oh, you can see all this stuff. I forget. Hold on. Let me open my other one. Alright, I think I gotta adjust it so you can only do it once per day per user. Let's see here. Let's make sure we got that on there. Thank you. I haven't set up head pats for this model yet. Thank you. Because this model has... Hold on. I made a list just a few minutes ago. Like 20 different hot emotes. So, and I don't have 20 keys because I use a number pad instead of a stream deck. So I can't do them all yet. But probably invest in a stream deck after... Well, actually, someone's been investing in my stream deck on my throne wish list. But I will probably continue the investment. After I get new... What's that thing called? A graphics card. Can you have the music okay, by the way? Does that sound alright? Everything sound good on the end? Okay, let's see. I made it, but I need to cooldowns and limits. Limit predictions per user per stream. 1. Save. Okay, that's been updated, so you can't just spam a bunch of check-ins. You can't do it. I'm sorry. If that's what you wanted to do, I'm sorry. That ain't bad. But yeah, you guys, it's crazy. My TikTok going cray cray, and I'm like, wow, this is fun. Anyway, hold on, let me pause the music. Maybe I'll start watching. You guys want to start watching spooky videos? Spooky videos. Spooky videos. If I full screen it so you can see that okay? Yeah. I haven't watched this one, but I mean, it's got, wait, how many views it's got? 2.1 million? I feel like that means it's gotta be good, right? Alright. Okay. I might have to, tell me if the audio is good on your end.
From the dark doorway.
Is it too loud?
Popular Japanese ghost hunters Hiro and Tomo from the YouTube channel Omagatoki Film travel to a mysterious abandoned house that is said to be extremely haunted. The story goes that years ago a married couple was living in the house. The wife descended into madness, and late one night in a fit of rage, she violently took her husband's life. And then she took her own.
Oh my gosh.
She's
A murderer and a suicider.
No one goes near the place, and it is believed that some evil presence haunts the home. But that doesn't stop the Omagatoki film team. Investigators Hiro and Tomo vow to spend the night and explore the infamously haunted house. Eventually, the two guys decide to split up. Hiro goes back to the car and Tomo stays to explore the second floor. As Tomo looks around, he finds an opening into the attic. There he finds old clothes and pictures of the family that once lived there. Tomo calls Hiro to tell him what he's found. But there is something else going on that is downright chilling.
At least
Watch very closely.
Oh wait, hold on. Never mind.
もしもし。なんか天板が外れて屋根裏みたいなのがあったの。なんかすごいなんか雑音がすごい。あ、マジ。いや、やばい。全然聞こえない。マジ。なんかね、大丈夫？今聞こえる？
I'm scared.
あ、今聞こえる？聞こえる？あそこのその押し入れの中を見たんだけどさ。
I don't know what scary thing is gonna happen.
Tomo experiences odd interference when attempting to phone Hiro. And
Hi.
Tomo doesn't notice, but someone appears to be peeking
I
out
saw
at him from
that.
the doorway. Completely unaware of what he has just captured, Tomo heads down to the car to meet up with Hiro. Once he's gone, a static camera captures something absolutely terrifying.
Oh. You guys see that?
The figure of a woman can be seen in the doorway, just kind of standing there motionless.
It's scary.
Then suddenly, without explanation, the camera just stops recording.
See, I feel like
review their footage.
Sometimes, like, I watch these things and I'm like, this could be totally just put together. But sometimes, like, I watch things and I'm like, that's spooky. So, like, it's hard. Like, last year around Halloween, we were watching scary videos, and there was one where like these are they trebuchets? Was that what they were? Oh, I wish I could. I don't know what the video is. I wish I knew what the video I watched was, but it was like a year ago, so I'll never find it. But yeah, it was like they were moving on their own, and there's no way you could like make that up. It was like really scary. But yeah, this definitely looks like I'm doing good. Neo, how are you? How are you? Doing great. Doing great. Doing great. Gonna watch some book of videos. TMI. Hi. Hello. Okay, let's keep watching. Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm sorry. I keep pausing video. I'm so sorry. Is this the like best channel to watch for scary videos? Or are there better like actually scary? Because I don't know, like the guy's commentary almost ruins it for me a little bit. But like, maybe I couldn't remember. There was like another channel I found last year, but I can't remember the channel name. You play with a Ouija board all your life and you never got anything. Maybe you weren't somewhere haunted. Maybe like, I don't know. Do you guys, okay, who in chat believes in ghosts and who doesn't believe in ghosts, and then who's in like the middle? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of in the middle. I hate thinking about it. I'm scared of the dark. Actually, we're sitting in the dark right now. It's kind of spooky. You believe? Been on ghost tours, nothing. You scared? I don't know what I'm scared. I'm scared of the dark. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little like secret. I cannot be in a dark room with a mirror. I am terrified of being in a dark room with a mirror. It scares me so bad because all I can think in my head is the Bloody Mary thing. So if I'm in somewhere like, okay, so the hallway has a mirror in it. I never played it. I've never played it, but my brain is like, oh, dark mirror, Bloody Mary. And like my brain like wants to say it in my head, like impulsively for some reason. So every time like I go in the hallway and it's dark, I go meow, 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 meow in my head so I don't impulsively say Bloody Mary. That's how messed up my brain is. I'm like, I'm scared. I don't want to accident. Like, I don't even want to say it in my head on accident and fear that it could be real. So I'm like, meow, 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 meow. And like, if I shut the bathroom light off, I immediately run out of the room. I'm like, oh, get out of there. Oh, I hate it. I don't like dark mirror. It's so scary to me. Yeah, and then I'm just afraid of the dark in general. So, you know, when you shut off the light or like when I used to live or when I had a bedroom upstairs, I yelled the classic turn off the light downstairs and sprint up the stairs and to get out of the dark because it was so scary. Oh, it was too scary. Yeah. Anyway, maybe we'll look to see, but we'll watch some of this one and see where it goes. Cause I feel like I found a better channel before, but I don't remember what the name was.
Shocked by what they discover. So could this be the apparition of the woman who went mad
this
inside
one,
the house?
The guy
Or
who
just
makes
who
these ones
or
seems
what is this?
like it could just be a
Let me
bunch
know
of
what you
made up
think.
stuff. I don't know.
You can watch this entire creepy 2-part investigation over on the YouTube channel Omagatoki Film. Meanwhile, on TikTok user Tim Saver says that he's a new night guard.
How
at
about
an
watching
undisclosed
scary
facility.
TikToks?
He says that he's the only guard willing to work the night shift, and for good reason. You see, strange and unexplainable things seem to happen in the building in the dead of night. But no one
I don't
knows
know if I
why.
could ever be a security
Over the
guard.
course of the
Like,
next
I've
week,
seen
Tim begins to
videos
understand where most of the
where people are like, being a security guard is so easy. You just sit there, you know, you watch. Like, I've seen a video of a woman who was just watching Netflix on her computer, eating popcorn, because she was just a security guard in I don't know, like a parking lot or whatever. And like, I don't know if I could do it. Like like, what if something bad happens? Like, you know, your security. So what if someone actually breaks in? Or like, what if like something spooky happens? Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because I don't know what to do.
The activity in the building takes place. A creepy abandoned unit just inside the facility. On night 11 at his new job,
Night
he leaves his phone
11.
to
It's like
record the
Five Nights at
abandoned
Freddy's.
unit as he makes his rounds. An hour into the recording, this happens.
What was that? I mean, like, that's spooky. I like there's multiple things that could be.
Leading to the upper attic space opens and closes on its own.
Like,
gathering his courage, Tim grabs a ladder and climbs up into the attic to
why
investigate.
would you do
What
that?
happens next is downright chilling.
I'm scared. Ah! I didn't know the 7 key would skip all the way ahead. Guys, where were we? We're here, right? Hold on. Here.
Climbs up into the
Sorry.
attic to investigate. What
Right at the
happens
good
next
part, too.
is downright chilling.
What is that? What is that? This looks like a cord or something. Spoilers. This guy's braver than me. That isn't even anything. I don't look like nothing to me. I don't look like nothing. What? That's been there. What is even? Oh! There's a hand on it now. Oh!
A creepy pale hand seems to come out of nowhere and wraps around a small statue sitting on the attic floor.
Why
Even
is there a
stranger,
statue
there
in
appears
the
to be no
attic
arm
floor?
or no body attached to the hand. Tim quickly gets out of there.
Why would there
So,
even be
is it real?
a statue in the attic of this workplace anyway?
You decide.
Sus. Yeah,
TikTok user
sus.
Brianna's videos
Sussy
are mostly dedicated to
bacchus.
her favorite pastime, free diving in the beautiful waters just off the coast of sunny Florida. Now, none of Brianna's videos have anything to do with the supernatural. Well, except for just this one. One afternoon, Brianna is going for a routine dive when she captures something truly chilling.
It was me. How could you do that to me? Oh, was really scary. you hear? Okay, screaming underwater. That isn't even like a thing. Also, like, how can she go in there? Like, how's she breathing? There's like nowhere to breathe. Like,
Brianna starts to panic as she hears loud, distressed underwater screams all around her. After she surfaces,
it was perfect. It was great timing.
She goes down again to try to figure out just what is going on.
Wait, what did that say? Hold on.
Water screams all around her. After she
here we
surfaces
go.
and disturbed by what she just heard, she goes down
Yeah,
again to try
sound
to figure
shot.
out
I feel
just
like it
what
does
is
sound
going on.
overlaid. Hearing no one while I had my mom watch me. How's your mom watching you? Where is she? I don't see your mom. Maybe your mom's the one screaming. That's sus. Like, I feel like, I don't know. She could have just done this to get like her video popular. She's like, yeah, let's make something spooky.
Is baffled by what just happened and posts her strange, unexplained video to TikTok. Now, of course, many viewers accuse Brianna of adding a fake audio track to her dive video. So, to prove them wrong, Brianna posts again, this time showing the footage directly from her GoPro camera.
So, people are asking what camera I use. GoPro 7 works perfectly fine for me. I cracked it a little bit, but I use the case. Definitely not a voiceover though, so I'm gonna show you
Fake
the video
spooky
straight out of my
clip.
Just like
Fakers.
So you can hear.
She could be playing that out loud, or like could have like downloaded the video with the sound on her GoPro. Yeah, I don't know how she's doing that. Like, she can hold her breath for so long.
Video, it looks like she's swimming through some kind of wreckage, possibly that of a sunken ship.
Looks
Many
dangerous.
viewers believe that she might have captured the eerie final screams of the ghost of someone who didn't survive the wreck.
Yeah, she definitely could just edit it onto. Plus, like, you cannot hear screams that well from underwater. I don't know about a microphone, but like, you know, like when you're kids, like I used to like scream at the top of my lungs underwater and see if like my friends could hear it, and I don't remember it working that well.
Unnerving. This next creepy video
Yeah, but she's
to
not.
TikTok by Rosie B
She doesn't
from
look like she
Michigan.
has
The
one.
home security clip shows Rosie's daughter strolling through the kitchen when the toddler seems to have a very odd and chilling encounter.
Oh god, I don't like it when it's with children. She got. Okay.
At first, the girl appears to be talking to someone that we can't see.
But she
But
could be
suddenly something seems
pretending.
to try to yank a plastic container of snacks right out of her hand.
Like, she
Whatever
could
it
have
is,
totally
then
been
seems to go
pretending.
after her toy box. The toddler puts up a fight and wins.
I don't know.
And then just
But
walks
also,
away,
it looks kind of like
seemingly
like
angry
something's
at
actually
whoever or
grabbing it.
whatever was grabbing at her things.
Hmm.
Later, when Rosie asks her daughter about what happened, the little girl says that a young boy and girl were trying to take away her toys. But looking at the video, there's
Like,
just
kids
no
have
one there.
such
At least no one that we can see.
like an active
So is the little
imagination
girl fighting over
too.
toys with the ghosts of two children? Let me know what you think.
I
Before
don't
we move
know.
on to the next video, if you see anything that you think should be included in the top 5, contact us at nukestop5@gmail.com. My Haunted Hotel.
Oh gosh,
Over
not a
400 years
hotel.
ago, all the way back in 1622, the old King's Head Inn was built in Chester,
Well, I think that
England.
kid one's the
It
most
is said
believable
that at
so
least
far.
13 ghosts haunt the old inn, including a man in black that roams the haunted hotel and the ghost of a young child. The many spirits of the inn are said to frequently interact with
Keep looking
visitors
around,
and
I'm kind of
guests,
scared.
especially in the inn's many bedrooms. These days, the old King's Head still serves as a hotel, bar, and restaurant and is now owned by Harry Achilleos. As a paranormal enthusiast himself, Harry has a grand plan for Ye Olde King's Head Hotel.
Yeah, way more
He wants to
believable.
capture real evidence of paranormal activity
We're
at the
getting.
inn,
I believe that
and
was
let
kind
hotel
of real.
guests
We're getting
experience
somewhere.
it as well. Harry, along with his friends and fellow
Okay,
paranormal
now
investigators
this
Brett and
one.
Danny, installed 16 live cameras to record multiple angles of every room in the
Like-
hotel. Visitors can now rent rooms to
Like,
explore and seek
stuff
out their
where
own paranormal experience.
People like,
And they usually
oh,
find it.
come here to seek
owner
out
and his team
paranormal activity.
carefully
Then they would
monitor
just
their
set up
guests
the
on the 16
paranormal
video
activities so
feeds,
people would
both to
keep
make sure that
coming.
everyone is safe
One
and
day,
to
like,
capture
didn't that make sense?
paranormal evidence. The old King's Head team have collected hours of creepy, unexplained footage, and they share their spookiest moments over on their YouTube channel, My Haunted Hotel. Now, the guests that come to the hotel are usually not paranormal investigators in any way. In fact, most of them have never even encountered anything.
Yeah, so they're
paranormal
gonna be
at all.
scared of every single
So
thing
sometimes the
that the
visitors
people that
can
own the
be a
hotel
little
would set
bit
up.
Jumpy. Guest Kirsty is filled with fear when she is asked to investigate the hotel's cellar all by herself. While she's down there alone in the dark, something happens that scares the living out of her.
Oh, day. Oh my god.
She's just standing there. Like, I feel like she's gotta be.
Thing I've ever done my whole entire life.
Like, she's just looking at one spot, like, right in front of the camera. It's like she knows the camera's there. Sus.
Do anyone in here?
Oh, it's the generator. It's the generator.
Oh my god. Wow.
Suddenly broken by a loud roar as the hotel's generator turns on without warning. making
Oh
poor
my god.
Christy nearly
Of course
jump
it's
right
without
out of her
warning.
skin.
It's a generator. What's it
Then
gonna
the
say?
mice
I'm
and
turning
children
on.
jump at the sudden noise, but they quickly laugh it off when they realize that it's just their generator. But then something happens that they just can't explain.
Sure.
Oh, whoa, what was that though?
Nothing.
What the hell
Nothing.
happened? What was that?
They even got haunted hotel merch. Yeah, this is like fake.
Just to try and explain here, the generator's just gone off in the cellar, and Kirsty's obviously crapped herself as it's happened. It got us, but something has happened here off camera that has made her now run out of the cellar. We have to radio through and make sure they're okay.
In a bizarre twist, a gigantic bang occurs on what we believe to be the cellar hatch off camera, and it is so loud it distorts the audio.
This
The
is
force this
stupid.
loud of a bang means something must have hit the hatch with considerable force, but we find nothing that could have caused this.
Right, we're just heading in now to find the girls. Girls, where are you? Right, what the hell just happened?
I am never going in a cellar ever again.
Right, so we saw the generator come on,
Yeah,
which is
that
obviously.
scared me.
But what was it off
Something
camera?
just went boom.
So it was to your left. We couldn't
Yeah.
see it off camera.
Yeah, it was on this side.
What was it? Can you try and
I don't
explain
know.
what it was?
I don't know. It was like just a big massive bang.
This is a bang. Oh my
So
god.
obviously the generator's not paranormal, but then the
No,
bang that
the
you
bang
heard.
was definitely something That was not nothing not like normal.
Kirsty says that right after the generator turned off, she heard another completely unexplained loud bang and just made a run for it. Now, Kirsty isn't the only guest to experience a creepy encounter with the
so she's
unexplainable.
this jumpy,
On a different
like.
night, guests Janine and Lottie are investigating the hotel's most haunted room, Room 5. This room is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. The child ghost that roams the hotel is said to be particularly active in this room, so the space has been decorated with dolls and toys. And it seems like the two women might not be alone in there.
Hello, children.
That's creepy.
The lights on it.
She just asked. There's supernatural events. I think a lot of people figure. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, we do. Get a Scooby-Doo team.
Next door.
It's like this is obviously just set up stuff because, you know.
Janine and Lottie hear a disturbing bang, but they are unable to locate exactly where it came from. Then a doll sitting on a shelf in the corner falls to the floor all on its own. Janine, Lottie, and the My Haunted Hotel team are all shocked by the experience. But Janine is a bit of a skeptic and attempts to debunk what just happened. But she chooses a very, very odd method to debunk the incident.
You evil little... Oh, you wound up. You evil... No, don't do that.
Oh my god.
No. Right. Switch foot stable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Right. I've jumped up and down in front of it and it's not moved. No. Right. Sit a bit closer. I ain't close to the door. That's going off again. Right, you're in the room with a... Oh my god!
It probably just fell. Stuff does that all the time.
We're in room 5. Started off very quiet, and about 3/4 of an hour into it, we had a huge thud on the wall, and the doll literally flew off the shelf.
So now we cut to
Okay, this one's kind of boring, not gonna lie. Let's watch Scary Barber Shop. This one's got a lot of views. Exactly. Like, someone could easily have knocked it down. It could just fell because it was placed improperly. There could be something that pushes it from underneath, you know, like on a timer. So look at the blue cape falling. And the head. It's obviously a breeze in this place a little bit. You see the capes are just moving back and forth. Come on, when's it gonna happen? Oh! You saying that in front of the client? The other guys are in denial. Oh wait, did the head just move? Hold on. I feel like it wasn't like that before. Ooh, wait, hold on. Watch the head. I just turned and looked at him like it's part of the conversation or something. Oh, jeez. Okay. I don't know. How can you make that one up? I don't go to a barber shop or hair salon often, but is sandals common practice? I wouldn't want someone's hair on my feet. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe where they're located. I guess might be. I guess it all just depends. I mean, eventually, you probably just take a shower at the end of the day, but I don't think it'd be very comfortable to sand and sandals all day. But I don't know. It seems they're more in a more foreign-like area, so maybe it's just really hot out. Like maybe they're in like the lower hemisphere. So, Also, this song right here. I've been jamming to this song. Blue Sugar by Rin Soto. Oh, I'm listening to that in the car. I've been jamming. There's a person by the bookshelf. Like that little line there. Like this. Is that someone hiding behind there? Hold on. Does that move at all? I don't really. Not really seeing a person. There's a mirror there too. Looks like an arm. I don't know. It's holding still right there, so I don't know. This one's kind of sus. It's actually this guy going, oh, hell no. Ooh, Mr. Nightmare.
From plates being pulled off tables to pets acting as if they sense an unwanted presence.
Make dinner. What are you gonna make for dinner? I ate a
caught on video.
Snickers bar. Well, the ice cream Snickers bar.
Captured on CCTV in the Carlisle Castle Hotel. The first camera shows a small dining area where a white transparent figure resembling a person is seen waving its arm in front of the camera. This goes on for almost 30 seconds. Then the video cuts to another camera aimed at a bar. Right as this guy opens up the fridge, 2 bottles fall out from one of the compartments. Now the first one is a bit understandable as it seems to already be sitting
they freaked
on
me
the
out
edge,
too a little
but
bit.
a second bottle also follows
I'm
after
gonna
the
be kind of
first one,
scared
and it
tonight,
falls
to
out
be
at an
honest.
angle that looks as if it were pushed. And then in this final scene, in public view for many guests to see, a glass suddenly breaks on the counter behind the bar. If you look closely, it appears that the glass fell down from above, probably where the other glasses were hanging. So were these 3 strange events something of a hoax, a coincidence, or is the Carlisle Castle Hotel really haunted? Number 9.
How are you?
So we see a young woman sitting and eating alone in a buffet. Moments after she gets up to get another plate, things start to move and fall off the table. We don't get to see what happens when she returns, but if this were to be a hoax, the participants would have had to have known where the surveillance camera was pointed and somehow attached strings to the objects on the table without catching any suspecting or curious eyes of employees.
There's someone green
Plus, the reactions
screened.
the people sitting at the other tables give isn't really something you would expect if they were looking at some
Mr.
strange
Ball.
guy sitting pulling strings to pull dishes off a table. You would expect them to look longer
We
out
might
of
look at it.
curiosity. But then again, maybe it's also not the kind of
I'm
reaction
gonna
people
pull it
would
up
give
on my
to
other
something
screen.
falling off a table all on its own. If this is a hoax, would performing it be a bit difficult? Probably. Would it be possible? Yes. Was it a hoax? That's up for you to decide.
What do you guys think? I feel like it's kind of sus, but like, I don't know. Like, the only thing I think of is someone green screened, you know?
Number 8. In this one, we see a guy shopping in a convenience store when a small pink object seems to float out from the shelf behind him, while at the same time a yellow object of the same size falls off the shelf onto the ground. As the guy picks it up, the floating pink object falls to the floor as well.
Check this out, right? This guy here, watch behind his head. Keep watching. Just look at the shelf. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what is that?
It's just floating, I don't know,
Oh my god. Oh my god, that looks like a poltergeist or something like that.
What the heck?
Whenever they hear about things like flying
Oh, to immediately be like, it's like a poltergeist or something like that. Like, that's kind of
Here's
sus.
another video in a small store with things falling off the shelves.
These
From
videos
this
are
angle,
really hard
it
to
appears
see.
these items fall off the shelves from different levels at completely different times.
What kind of store are they even in? Yeah, run away.
And while on the topic of convenience stores, check out this weird footage of a shopping cart seemingly moving on its own after hours in a small store. Apparently ghosts have to do their shopping at night.
Uh-huh. Someone could have pushed that. Oh wait, it's starting back up. That's kind of weird. But like, I feel like a lot of this stuff, like, someone could just be green screened right there. Like, you know those green screen suits? Easily just someone on there just pushing it around. Can I recommend some real videos? Go for it. Go for it.
This innocent employee of what appears to be a party store is minding his own business doing stock work when the merchandise that he throws on the floor begins to slide away on its own. He seems to take notice of the sounds of the sliding objects, but looks in all the wrong directions.
Hi.
When something falls off the shelf in the background, the
Hello.
employee takes off running.
Let me see. I pulled up this one. I don't know. This one's just not as interesting. Let's see what this is.
My wife is a total skeptic. She does not believe in the paranormal whatsoever and never has. But when I told her just a portion of today's story, specifically the part about the passenger in first class, you'll know when you get to that scene, she told me she was so intrigued by it. And I think the reason for that is in this story, as you'll see, there were so many witnesses, hundreds of witnesses. And so how could they all be making this up? But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan
I'm
of
gonna
the
pull
strange,
that
dark,
up on my
and
other
mysterious delivered in story
screen
format, then you come to
so
the
we
right
can
place because
save
that's all we
that.
do. We upload once a week. So if that's of interest to you, please invite the like button to come over your house for a Ouija board session, and then after everyone has their fingers on the pointer, ask if anyone likes the like button, and then casually push the pointer towards no. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any weekly uploads. Okay? Let's
What
get
kind
into
of like?
today's story.
Oh no! No one likes the like button. I've never watched this guy.
Around 8:30 p.m. on December 29th, 1972, passengers inside of JFK International Airport in Queens, New York, heard over the intercom that Eastern Airlines Flight 401 to Miami was now boarding. About 30 minutes later, all 176 passengers, which included the 13 crew members, had made it on board, and then at that point, the
I was
13 crew
so
members began making their
sad.
final preparations
So
for takeoff.
basically,
Flight
I bought plane tickets to go back home during Christmas time. And I look again, and they're like $100 or so cheaper now, and I'm like seriously? Come on! Like, I waited so long to buy them, and I'm like, okay, I better just buy them now so I don't lose my opportunity to go back home for Christmas. And they're fucking sold out! It's like, are you serious?
401
It's upsetting.
was a very expensive and
No, thank you for
recently
hydrate.
introduced model of plane by Eastern Airlines called the Lockheed L-1011 TriStar. And it was both unbelievably technologically advanced and unbelievably enormous.
Spill my water.
It sat up to 400 passengers, which meant instead of having 4 seats to a row like you would expect inside of a passenger jet, the L-1011s had 8 seats per row, and they had 2 levels. There was the main level, which was the main cabin where all the passengers were, and then there was
I pulled a little kid. I squeezed the bottle too hard and it went everywhere.
Via 2 small elevators that could barely fit 1 person inside of them in the back of the aircraft. And down on this lower level was a full-size kitchen, which had ovens and refrigerators, and also at the back of the
why are there
level
kitchens and
was a
stuff
lounge
in
area for flight staff. The pilot that night
thank
was Bob
you.
Roth,
Thank you,
who was
Taco.
a strikingly handsome 55-year-old man with over 30,000
Strikingly
hours of
handsome.
flying experience, which for reference is a ton of flying experience. Captain Bob was known as a perfectionist who exuded confidence and who was cool under pressure. After Bob had boarded the aircraft, he had made his way right into the cockpit, which is the very front of the plane where the pilots fly the plane, and he had sat down in the customary captain's seat, which was the front left seat. And then after he had sat down, his 10 years younger first officer or co-pilot, a man named Kurt Stockstill, had joined him in the
I should make a new
the
Nodders.
customary co-pilot seat, which was directly to the right of Captain Bob. And so after the pilot and co-pilot
I already started working on our new emotes. I'm gonna get my nails done this Monday. I'm excited. I'll show you guys. I've never gotten my nails done before. I'm excited.
Were so massive, there were 4 seats in the cockpit. And so one of the last 2 men who joined the cockpit was 51-year-old Don Repo, who was the flight's engineer. And despite him being this big, strong ox of a man, he was actually known as being fairly soft-spoken and very approachable. And so Don came into the cockpit, he said hello, and then he sat down in the seat right behind the co-pilot, Bert. And then a few seconds after Don, the last man came into the cockpit. It was 47-year-old Angelo Donadeo. Angelo was not actually part of that night's flight crew. However, he was an employee of Eastern Airlines, and that night he needed to get to Miami, and so the company had put him on Flight 401 and sat him in the 4th and final seat in the cockpit, right behind Captain Bob. Around 9:10 p.m., all pre-flight checks had been completed, all passengers were seated, as was the crew.
What's gonna happen?
Captain Bob began taxiing over to the runway. 10 minutes later, at 9:20 p.m., Captain Bob pushed the throttle.
My friend's ready. I'm gonna get
a few minutes later, and
like almond shaped nails with like a black to clear ombre.
This flight was completely
maybe
normal.
like black to
In
pink.
fact, it was so normal that one of the passengers, named Jerry Escow, actually wrote a letter while he was on the plane telling Eastern Airlines how great their airline was and how smooth this flight was. His plan was, once they landed, to mail this letter to Eastern Airlines. But at 11:32 p.m., so 2 hours and 12 minutes after takeoff, this flight would go from being very routine and normal to being anything but. At 11:32
I'm scared to fly. I've never flown
Bob
before.
began his approach to Miami International.
Hopefully this doesn't make me more scared.
When he lowered the plane's landing gear, his co-pilot Bert noticed they had a problem. L-1011 jets, like 401, have 3 pieces of landing gear. They have wheels that come down under the left wing, they have wheels that come down under the right wing, and they have wheels that pop out of the nose of the plane. And each of these pieces of landing gear has a corresponding little light bulb,
They do?
green light bulb
Interesting.
inside the cockpit, that once that piece of landing gear comes down and locks in place and is ready to be landed on, its green light will go on inside of the cockpit. But when Captain Bob lowered their landing gear, his co-pilot, Bert, noticed only 2 of the lights came on. The one that did not light up was the nose landing gear. Now, Captain Bob and the other men in the cockpit, when they saw this issue, they immediately assumed it had to be the light bulb itself that was faulty, not the actual nose landing gear, because this plane was brand new. It had been checked before they left, so the likelihood of the nose landing gear being faulty was incredibly
anything's
slim.
possible.
And so Captain Bob, while maintaining his approach towards Miami International, he retracted
I'm
the
just
landing
using it
gear,
today,
and then once it had come back into the
funsies.
plane, he just lowered it again, thinking this
I
time
probably
all
won't use it
3
all the
lights would
time
come
before
on.
debut,
But once
but
again,
thank you.
once the landing gear was deployed the second time, still the nose landing gear light did not come on. And so frustrated, Captain Bob hopped on the radio and contacted Miami Air Traffic Control and told them that he could not confirm his landing gear was actually safe to land on,
I just can't
and so they
hold
would have
it
to
back.
circle
I
around
gotta
for a
use
bit in
it.
the sky and get it figured out. And so Miami Air Traffic
just
Control
can't help
acknowledged
it.
what Captain Bob
I'm
said,
so
and then directed
excited.
Captain Bob to fly out over the nearby Everglades, which is a massive wetlands area in Florida, and to stay out over the Everglades away from other traffic until they fixed the problem. And so once Flight 401 was out over the Everglades flying in a circular pattern, Captain Bob and his co-pilot set the plane to autopilot so that it would maintain a constant altitude of 2,000 feet and a constant speed of 200 miles per hour.
Wow.
So plane was all
I know
set,
planes
Captain
actually went
Bob
so
and his
fast. Never
co-pilot
thought
Bert
about that.
began fiddling with this front nose gear indicator light bulb, which they were convinced was faulty. And so they started by pressing on the light, and when that didn't work, they began twisting it, and when that didn't work, they actually pulled the light bulb off the panel and kind of blew the dirt and grime off of it, and then they jammed it back
Dirt and
into the panel.
grime.
But as
It's
soon
a
as
new
they did, not only
plane.
did it not go back on, but they realized they had put it in sideways, and so they couldn't actually get it out again. And so now they're thinking, this is
Idiots.
not going to go on at all. We need to find another way to make sure the nose landing gear has come down. And so Captain Bob, at this point, is totally frustrated, and so he turns around and he looks at Don Repo, the
Thank
flight
you for
engineer who's
checking
sitting right
in.
behind the co-pilot, and he tells Don to go down into the hellhole and directly inspect the front landing gear himself. So the hellhole is a space right below the cockpit, and the way you get to it is through a trap door in the floor in the center of the cockpit. And then once down in the hellhole, there is this window that looks straight towards the front of the aircraft, where you could look out and actually see the front landing gear, and you could make sure it was
Why wouldn't
down
you just
low
do
enough.
that in the
And so
first
Don
place?
Repo, he gets out of his
Huh?
seat, and he opens up the hellhole trap door, and he makes his way down below. Meanwhile, 2,000 feet below Flight 401, a 43-year-old man named Robert Marquise, along with a friend of his, were looking for frogs in the Everglades, riding around on Robert's airboat. An airboat
Looking
is a
for
flat-bottomed
frogs.
boat with this huge fan on the
People
back of
just
it that
catch
propels it forward.
frogs?
It's popular in the
Just like that for fun?
because the water depth is so shallow.
What?
At points in the Everglades, the water's only a couple of inches deep. And so all around these two guys, it is totally pitch black out. There are no buildings or people for miles and miles and miles. Their only light source is Robert's headlamp. And so at some point, Robert turns off the airboat, and he and his friend are just standing in the middle of it, kind of scanning around on either side, and all around them they can hear the sound of alligators growling and snakes moving about the tall grass.
Why would
And
you
as
be
they're
out
just kind of
there?
silently looking around them, out of the corner of Robert's eye, he sees something. And so he looks up right as he sees this huge orange and yellow flash that kind of came out of the ground roughly 5 miles away from where they were. And basically, as soon as Robert saw it, this flash dissipated and it was just totally gone. And so he turned to his friend who had not seen this flash, and Robert said, "Hey, let's go investigate. Let's see what that was." And so Robert fired up his boat again, and he began flying across the
Thanks for
Everglades,
checking
straight
in.
in the direction of where he saw this flash. And after 15 minutes of cruising at 40 miles per hour across this dark expanse, they reached the area where this flash had been, and Robert and his friend, they just could not believe what they were looking at. About 20 minutes
Yeah, I
later,
just added
back
it.
inside of Flight 401, when Captain Bob turned around in his seat to tell the flight engineer, Don Repo, to go down into the hellhole, it's believed that Captain Bob nudged the steering wheel with his leg. And this little nudge was enough to disengage the plane's autopilot, which sent the plane into a gradual descent. But nobody noticed because, one, it was totally pitch black outside. The Everglades below them, there's no lights, there's nothing, and there was no moon that night. And so when they're looking out the window, there would have been no visual cues that they were going down, up, or anything. It just would have looked like a total void outside.
What about gravity?
Two, the descent they were now suddenly in was so gradual, it would not have felt like they were tumbling out of the sky. It would have felt like they were just cruising as expected. And three, all of the men in the cockpit were completely fixated on this light bulb problem. In fact, they were so fixated that when an alarm went off inside of the cockpit telling them they had dipped below their intended altitude of 2,000 feet, they were now going down, nobody noticed. Although, to their credit, this alarm only sounded once and it wasn't that loud. And so not long
but you're a
after Repo had gone
you should be
down
paying
into the
attention to
hellhole,
that stuff.
the plane crashed into the Everglades. No one on board Flight 401, from the cockpit crew to the passengers to the other flight staff, had any idea they were in an emergency until they hit the ground. And when they hit the ground, the plane exploded, and that was what Robert Marquis saw when he looked up and saw that yellow and orange flash. And so Robert and his friend, they speed over to the crash site, and when they get there, they are the first ones there. And even though they're looking out and they can hear the sound of all these people screaming and crying and moaning, they can't see anything because the fire from this huge explosion was already out because the swampy wetlands had pretty much immediately extinguished it. And even though the plane had crashed into the ground at over 200 miles per hour, it had not struck the ground at a very steep angle because basically the plane was in this gradual descent pattern and just kind of coasted until it hit the ground. And so that, combined with the soft ground of the Everglades, meant that the impact of the plane hitting the ground was not nearly as violent as other plane crashes were. And that ultimately saved lives.
What else is gonna happen?
Dozens of passengers survived the initial impact with the ground.
But like,
many of them were left.
Okay, was this? Oh wait, so it's true story. But like, was this like the one where they like went missing and then they found them? Like, you know, wasn't there like a Delta flight that they went missing and like they never found the plane again for a while and then they finally did or something? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Here's what I'm talking about. What you talking about? Like, I swear there was one like that. You know what I mean? Like, I thought there was like a Delta whatever went missing.
Injuries, or they were trapped within the wreckage, or both. When Robert and his friend arrived at the edge of the crash scene, Robert lifted up his headlamp and began to scan, and he saw all these body
I thought it
parts
was more
sticking out of the
recent,
ground,
like
and then
when
his
I was
light
alive.
rested on the first survivor he saw, and it was this man whose clothes had been completely burned off from the explosion. All he had on was just a little bit of his socks on both ankles.
Oh my God.
This man was still strapped into the seat that he had been on the plane, and when the plane had broken up, his seat had fallen forward into the mud, pinning this man's upper body and most of his face under several inches of water. And so as Robert had scanned over with his light had hit this man's face, and he had looked up and pleaded with Robert and his friend to come get him before he drowned. And so Robert and his friend, they jumped off their boat.
Could you
and ran over to
imagine
this
this
guy and pulled the chair up and out of the water, saving this
Can't
guy's
get
life.
out?
But
Ugh,
as soon
that's
as he was up and out of
terrifying.
the water, Robert and his friend began hearing more calls from other people in the darkness screaming for help. Robert
Could
and
you
his
imagine
friend
me
would
those
do their
guys
absolute
coming
best
and
to
saving
save
all
as
those
many
people?
as they possibly
Oh
could,
my
but there was just
gosh.
too many people who needed saving and not enough time. About 30 minutes after Robert and his friend had arrived at the scene, the Coast Guard showed up in helicopters, and they, along with Robert and his friend, would spend the entire night pulling as many people to safety as they possibly could. By the time the sun came up on the following minute ago to go down to see you. And so after a couple of minutes, Ginny would leave the main level and go back down the elevator to the lower level to find Denise. Now, at first, many of these employees were going to their superiors and reporting what happened to them, But very early on, Eastern Airlines made it clear that they didn't want anybody to talk about this. Anytime an employee made one of these reports about this phenomenon, they were either sent to the psychiatrist.
Yeah, I'm skipping a little. I'm getting a little bored here.
However, despite this intense pressure from Eastern Airlines to their employees to be quiet about what was going on inside of their ranks, there were still some very brave employees who had firsthand experience with this terrifying phenomenon who still came forward and told their stories to the press and to journalists. They just did it anonymously. And so I'm going to tell you two of the most chilling accounts from those employees. Keep in mind, the names used in these stories have all been changed. In March
I don't think I did.
1973, so 3 months after Flight 401 had crashed in the Everglades,
Unless
an
that's
Eastern
it,
Airlines
but
flight attendant named Ginny was assigned to a flight from New York to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Working with her on this flight was her very close friend and fellow flight attendant, a woman named Denise. Neither of these two women were on Flight 401 when it crashed. The plane these two women would be working on their flight to Florida was called number 318 by Eastern Airlines, and it was an L-1011, just like Flight 401 had been. In fact, plane number 318 actually had some original parts from Flight 401 on it, because it would turn out after that huge investigation was done on the crash, the investigators discovered lots of parts from Flight 401 were still in pretty good shape. And so after rigorously testing
I'm sure they're in great shape.
those parts were actually installed on other L-1011 jets in the Eastern Airline fleet. Now, for the record, this was not considered an inappropriate thing to do. These parts were extremely expensive, and they worked perfectly fine, and they were not involved in causing Flight 401 to crash. And so no one batted an eye when Eastern Airlines put these parts on their other planes. So Ginny and Denise, along with several other Eastern Airlines flight attendants, board plane number 318, and after takeoff, the flight attendants began going through the very long and drawn-out process of getting food and drink for the nearly 200 people on board the flight. And so the way the flight attendants divvied up the work is they would have some of the attendants on the main level of the plane in the cabin taking orders from all the passengers, and then the other flight attendants would be down on the lower level, the second level of the plane where the kitchen was, preparing all
I just can't believe there's a kitchen on a plane.
At some point during this process, Denise, who was up on the main level helping with taking orders, realized she didn't have anything to do. She had taken all the orders she could, and so she decided she would head down to the second level, to the kitchen, where her good friend Ginny was, to see if she could help her. But ironically, as Denise got in the elevator in the back of the plane and began
an elevator on a
the
plane,
second
this is
level,
terrifying.
Ginny, who was on the second level, discovered she did not have anything to do. She'd already prepped her cart, and so she had gotten into the other elevator and began going up to the main level to see if Denise needed any help. And so the two women literally passed each other in their elevators, but didn't see each other. And so once Ginny arrived at the main level, the cabin level, she got off the elevator, and she walked down the aisle, and she began asking around to the other attendants if they knew where Denise was, and they would tell her, oh, you know, she just left a minute ago to go down to see you. And so after a couple of minutes, Ginny would leave the main level and go back down the elevator to the lower level to find Denise. Now, to understand what happens next, you need to have a basic understanding of the layout of the second level. So when you come down on either of those two elevators, when the doors open, you'd be looking down a stretch of hallway, basically the length of the plane from the back towards the front. And when you stepped off the elevator, you'd be stepping into the middle of the kitchen. Now, the kitchen was very, very cramped, and on the left side was a row of ovens that were all stacked up against each other, and then on the other side, on the right side, was a row of cabinets and cupboards. If you were to walk down the kitchen straight towards the front of the plane, you would eventually reach a wall that separated the kitchen to the lounge area, and there was a door slightly off to the right side on this wall that you could walk through to get into the lounge. So
I'm
if
listening.
you were standing in the kitchen and looking in the direction of this door, you wouldn't really be able to see into the lounge area because, again, the door was kind of off to the side. you would have to actually go over to the door and poke your head through to get a full unobstructed view of the lounge. And all the lounge was a couple of sofas and chairs kind of arranged in a circle. So Ginny has gotten back in the elevator and she's made her way back downstairs to continue looking for Denise. She gets down to the lower level, the doors open up, and she looks out into the kitchen, and Denise is not there. In fact, the kitchen is totally empty. And the door leading into the lounge area is shut, so she can't even see in part of the way into the lounge to see if anybody is in there. But the second Ginny stepped off the elevator into the kitchen, she immediately had this powerful sense that Denise was definitely down there somewhere on the second level with her, probably in the lounge area that she couldn't see. And because Ginny felt so confident that Denise was down there, she actually didn't start by calling out for Denise or walking to the door, opening it up, and looking into the lounge to make sure Denise was there. Instead, Ginny just turned to the left and went to the ovens and began preparing food for the attendants upstairs. And as she's making these plates of food, Ginny would periodically look over at the closed door leading into the lounge, kind of expecting it to open up at any point and see Denise walk out. But after a couple of minutes, no one had opened the door from the lounge, and Ginny was thinking to herself, you know, I'm making quite a bit of noise over here. If anybody was down here, wouldn't they come out of the lounge and just see who it was?
That's such a weird thing
Ginny,
to do.
Again, had this really intense feeling that she was not alone down there. She began to think, wait a minute, is Denise playing a practical joke on me? Is she hiding?
Oh my god, this is so stupid.
Or is she hiding in one of the cabinets?
Why wouldn't you just go look and ask for help? Like, this is like moms expecting people to pick up and clean with them.
She's pretty much constantly looking over at the door,
just because the other person started cleaning.
Waiting for Denise to launch out and scare her. But again, after several more minutes, Ginny didn't see anybody come out of the lounge and none of the cabinet doors opened up. It was just her down there. However, the longer she stayed down there, the stronger that feeling got that someone was in the room with her. And so now she can't even make her food. She's completely turned around, just scanning all around the kitchen, really at this point hoping Denise jumps out to scare her. And when Denise didn't do that, Ginny just began walking over to the door that would lead into the lounge. And so when she reached the door, her heart was racing like mad. She reached down to the handle, she turned it, she pushed it open, and she poked her head in real quick. And there was no one in the lounge. But immediately, the second her head was in that room, that feeling that someone was down there with her spiked, and she got chills all over her body. And she ran into the back of the lounge and looked behind all of the chairs and sofas, praying at this point that Denise was going to be down there. But after looking all over the back of the lounge, there was no one there. And so finally, Ginny turns around, and she's totally racked with fear. Because now she's on the very far end of the lounge. There's no one in the lounge. She knows there's no one in the kitchen. And here she is still getting that sensation that she was not alone down there. But she has to go all the way back across the lounge, through that door, into the kitchen to get back to the elevator so she can escape. And so Ginny almost instinctively moved immediately to the left side of the lounge and put her back up against the wall to make sure no one could be behind her. And then she began slowly inching her way along the left wall towards the door that was now open that would lead back into the kitchen. And as she's slowly shimmying along, her view of the kitchen is getting...
Okay, this is really boring, I'm gonna be honest. This isn't that spooky. I was trying really hard to stay interested. But I just can't focus on it. So we're gonna try these out. What one's got real or not? This one's got a lot of views. Are there any old popular ones? This one's got a lot of views. This a real person?
Mami cakap tak ada susah nak cari ejen ni. Sekejap je kat sejak jumpa. Tak payah nak cari lama-lama. Nampak? Aku buka je tu dapat. Mami. Cute lah. 1001 excuses.
Not all of them are. Is this a story or a point of like? What's the difference?
But it's not safe. I keep telling her. You see, the place is so ulu kat
Got my
sini.
water.
Ya Allah. Habis she sama tinggal seorang-seorang. She should.
True horror stories. Oh, isn't that what I'm on? Okay, let's watch this one.
Why does location matter?
Accessibility to ease your day-to-day commute, not just for.
Sampai ni.
Is that a VTuber? You guys see that? Look, he's a VTuber.
Sampai ni.
This one, the Hitched. Oh, I guess I should probably full screen it now. Let's get in some rando's car.
Sorry. Aduh. Pasal pula.
That isn't even a person.
Assalamualaikum bro. Thanks. Okey lah, boleh tahan lah. Thanks. Aku dari tadi try book, tak dapat lah. Alhamdulillah kau accept. Memang tempat-tempat sini memang susah sih.
Dalam.
Aduh. Jadi ramai pelanggan?
Alhamdulillah lah, ada juga lah rezeki nari lah.
Okeylah, dah orang kata apa, pandemik dah tak teruk sangat lah sekarang kan. Alhamdulillah.
Did you just turn around?
Bro, ni kau drop siapa dulu Kau drop aku dulu ke? Kau drop dia dulu Sorry aku tanya.
Drop dia?
Drop dia. Ni yang kat belakang ni.
There's no one there.
Tadi aku nampak ada orang kat belakang.
That's so weird. Like, how, I don't know, nowadays, like, how would anyone ever let some random person in their car? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a child. I am not picking you up. That's terrifying. That's how you get human trafficking. All that stuff. Aku mau ini, hello, motherfucker!
Bos. Kat mana kita?
Sorry. Tadi kau tidur. Aku tak nak kejutkan kau. Aku dah hit kat sini. Aku dah 3 minit aku dekat tunggu kat sini tak sampai-sampai ni orang ni. Aku tak tahu mana dia ni.
Itulah. Ni orang ni tak nampak ni.
Apa tadi aku ni?
Tempat pun macam tak
This is sus.
Lagi lama nak tunggu ke ni?
Aku tak boleh jalan dulu. Pasal
Are you Kason?
tapi address kat sini.
Wow, motherfuckers!
Aku rasa tak bro. Aku rasa ni prank.
Prank? Tak mungkin sih prank.
Dah tadi ni tak ada tempat pun macam gini.
Sus.
Jalan lah. Aku dah tak start sedap
Jalan.
Orang tak ada tempat.
That's the sassy baka and I cannot be that bad. feeling like imposter. I might just be a monster.
Ramai driver semua kena prank kan?
Biasa aku pun pernah kena tapi aku tak tahu lah ini hari nak kena. Pasal tadi
Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that in school. That's not a good idea.
tak ambil lah kan. Along the way aku nak balik tu kira dekat dengan kau boleh lah nak ambil.
Yalah, kawan aku quite number lah. Diorang driving hantar passenger. Aku cakap kau kena banyak. Ada yang apa tau, kena ke address kat mana? Kubur.
Itu lagi dahsyat. Tak kelakar saya kat kubur. Kalau aku jadi driver aku tak nak datang.
Aku rasa apa tau, diorang dah letak address kat kubur, sengaja.
Yeah, probably just a prank, bro.
Tak ada orang kat sana, memang sengaja je. Bro, playlist lagu kau ke ni?
Bukan lagu aku.
What?
Phone aku.
Why would you get out and run? In the dark. Like what? I would never get out. Just turn the radio off. Crazy people, I tell you.
Run.
It's like, well, that was interesting, but in a scary video. What is he doing? Didn't he find his phone? He's like a like a towel person.
Tak tahu.
Rabak.
Macam mana?
Tadi aku telefon bapak aku. Bapak aku cakap kita nak pergi tempat tadi, hantar dia benda balik.
Send what back?
Tempat yang tadi yang tak ada orang tu?
Bukan, tempat first tadi aku ambil kau kat situ.
Patut tadi bila aku nak naik, sebenarnya kat ada benda lah kat belakang aku perasan. Tapi aku yang
Bro, I would be like, Mom, come pick me up, I'm scared.
Tak. Aku rasa kau pergi
Spooky month. I could probably try looking that up, but I have a scary TikTok compilation that we'll watch. I will be sick tonight, guys. It'll be too scary.
Thank you. Takkan pun tahan seorang sih.
Kita ni
Are they like friends or something? They like act like friends. We gotta cut back to my dad's house.
Tak tahu apa hal lah malam ni.
Harada, who's this? Hi. Hello. It's too dark in my room for my phone to see my mouth. Did he fall asleep again? go! Bookie video time. Riara. Riara. Chris Pratt. I don't remember who Chris Pratt is. High screen? Ah. Oh yeah, that's right. Isn't he like that guy that's doing the Mario? Yeah, huh. A lot of people didn't like that. What's this guy doing? Hello, please leave. It's in the car. Oh god. Oh boy. Is it? Bruh. Dude, just leave.
Bro. Masuk tu, gerak. Dia dah keluar.
Serius?
Betul, dah keluar. Dah.
Oh, he's just like, oh, okay. It left. I didn't see it, but yeah, sure, why not?
Kumpul. Aku yang boleh nampak. Tadi aku nampak dia keluar dah. Engkau tadi kat sebelah engkau.
I'm scared. It's gonna come back. I'm scared. Is that it? That's it. Okay. I got another thing here.
This is why you should always change your locks. In 2017, a college girl woke up from a nightmare
Hey, it's that guy.
in sweat and decided to rinse off before going back to sleep. She propped her phone on a shelf, turned on some music, and then hopped in the shower. A few minutes later, she reaches for her phone to change the song, but stops suddenly. Reflected on her phone's screen was a person standing in the middle of her bathroom facing the shower. She somehow kept her composure, turned the water to scalding hot, and then ripped open the curtain and sprayed the intruder in the face. As they howled in pain, she ran past them to her kitchen to get her butcher's knife. In a panic, she can't find her knife, so she just runs out of the apartment and calls the police. The police go in and come out with a crazy-looking woman in handcuffs. One of the officers comes over to the girl and says she used to live here and she had copies of your keys. Then he pauses and looks down and brings up a clear evidence bag that contained her butcher's knife, and he says, "Looks like she wanted her apartment back."
There's something terrifying going
That's
on at Chuck E.
scary.
Cheese right now, and I'm gonna explain it to you. So we all know about the game Five Nights at Freddy's, right? It's a game based around a restaurant that's pretty much like a Chuck E. Cheese, where the animatronics come to life and wreak havoc on all the guests there. But what if I told you this was possibly happening in real life right now? Just 2 days ago, 5 children have gone missing inside of a Chuck E. Cheese, and the parents reported a weird smell from the inside of the building. And then just like Five Nights at Freddy's, someone that
I feel like they're gonna get scarier.
after hours. Now these
We'll
are all
see,
pretty
we'll
weird,
see.
but here's the kicker right here. Check out this headline. Night shift workers from Chuck E. Cheese claim strange movement from animatronics post hours.
Ah, they're just saying that.
Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? And I mean, with 2020 and everything going on, like, I wouldn't be shocked if it was real.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 1. When creating the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland, they couldn't create skeletons that looked realistic enough, so they used real human skeletons. Since then, they've removed
Illegal?
all but one. Ducks sometimes become cannibals due to boredom, meaning they kill and eat each other. This
What the
behavior
fuck?
begins as early as 4 weeks
What
old.
the fuck?
Crocodiles are capable of galloping, similar to a horse. Luckily, alligators cannot. And while we're at it, tarantulas can swim.
Oh
It's extremely
no.
common after you die that there will be extreme gas
Never
buildup
going
and you
swimming
will burn
again.
after death. And sometimes dead bodies can even sit up on their own. Also, if a pregnant woman dies, the gas buildup in her body can actually forcefully push a baby out. In other words, a post-mortem baby bazooka. Hearing is the last bodily function to go after one dies, so it's very possible that the last thing you ever hear is the paramedic calling off your CPR.
This is why you should never stay in sketchy motels.
It might be
In
a little
2005
scary. I want like scary. We're going back to the top 10 or something. Real ghost caught on camera. That's what we're doing, baby. Think Watch Mojo is good? No. I don't want stuff that's too long because I'm gonna lose interest. Ghost Disturbing Cats? I don't know if I can watch that. This one seems interesting. Oh. Ghost Kitty vanishes. Oh! I feel like that could be a camera error. Oh! Huh! Well, if it was a person, it would have been dead. Oh, it's just going by itself. I hate those things, like stuff like that, or like the whisper stuff. Have you ever felt like you heard stuff whisper before? Spooky. This looks like a person.
Then just disappears.
Teleporting cat? What's new? I probably just have 2 cats. Or he got the zoomies and zoomed over there. That's a cat's ability.
Naughty words.
This one's got 8 million views. Oh! 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 What if it was just like a mini earthquake though in this person's house? Well, I guess the chairs would be like rattling a little, huh? Oh my god! Like, how do you even explain that stuff? Okay, a chair tilted. It could have been the wind. I would never sit in that chair again, though. Ghost is game, and he's a gamer. Lived a gamer, died a gamer, bitch. Yeah. Oh. My cat scared me. It jumped on the couch and was getting the zoomies. Oh, I don't like the ones in the cars.
Holy go, 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 go.
I mean, that could easily just be a squatter, but... Oh my god, he's got a long ass leg! That guy should play baseball! Or basketball, I mean! Ghost just squat, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. They're squatters. See, I'd like to get cameras for my house to, like, keep an eye on my cats and stuff, but then I would be afraid if I saw stuff like this, I'd never want to go in my house again. You know? I couldn't do it. One thing and I'd be gone. What is that? I think that's just a camera error. I also think that might just be a camera error. Oh, the alarm going off is concerning.
Cuidado, Judá.
Camera error! Like an error?
Mano, não tem nada. Caralho, mano. Que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano. Mano, que é isso, bicho?
Wow.
Caralho, mano. Bora, mano.
They have guns? They got guns?
Vai, mano. Vai, mano.
Sniper?
Vai, mano. Vai, mano. Vai, mano.
Shoot the ghost! There's a ghost.
Corre, corre. Caralho, mano. Que é isso, bicho?
That is true. Now, alarm systems kind of scare me too, because you know, in all the horror shows, they always go off. What's everything like they're safety, yeah, but like, ugh, that's so scary. I didn't see anything in that one. Sometimes there's too much in the house to like figure out what was happening. The doctor's room. This place is sus. I'm scared. I'm scared. I feel like this is gonna be really scary. Oh. Why would you run towards it? Why would you ever? I just never understand the people that can just run towards stuff. Like, what? The dog. It's all good. Thank you. I'm glad someone's here. I could never watch this stuff on my own. Oop, the door. Mickey Mouse! Let us assert your dominance over the ghost? I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, actually, one time I thought, oh god, is that a face right there? Anyway, one time, like, a plastic bag was moving on its own, and I punched it. My little heart. My little heart! Your ears are bleeding. Oh, that's scary. But yeah. What's another thing? There was another thing I did. There was something that happened. And like I swear like I threw something at something because I thought it was like doing its own thing and I was like, stop! Definitely punched the shower curtain a couple times. So I kind of leave it open now. Have you guys done anything like weird when you like? Have you ever had any supernatural experiences? Is that a face? I feel like that's a face right there. Eh. That's creepy. That's really creepy. You did? It's not. If you want to put it in the Discord, I'd happily read your story. But you don't have to. That looks like a tree. Yeah, you can clip. Clip all you want. I've decided that the people who actually come to the stream and see the model get to see the model. If you don't come to my Twitch and you don't see the model before debut, then then you just didn't support before debut, and that's fine. I hate scary dreams. Scary dreams are too scary. Way too scary. So at the top of your I'm being recommended. Whoo! What? I'm being recommended. That's crazy. Hi. Hello. Sneaking? Should I call you a sneaking? Whoever made the model the next. I drew the model. And then, actually, they were in chat earlier. Their Twitch name is Toxic NECA. I think that's their name on Twitter as well. They're my rigger, and they did an amazing job. I love the ear movements. They're like my favorite parts. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for following. Thank you. Let's talk about the shortest story I got. I once got woken up by whispers rattling my ears, followed by my covers being yeeted off my bed. Like, ooh, ooh, that's terrifying. I like that. I think I've had like whispers before, and then like it was like my friend's name. Like they were like, my friend's name at the time was Kaden, and then they were like, Kaden, from the hallway behind me while I was drawing on my bedroom floor, and I turned around. I was like, what the fuck? And I text my friend Kaden. I'm like, you okay, bro? You alright? It was scary. I say I saw a ghost legit go through my. Oh my gosh! Remember what he looked like for me? Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. One of your kittens was napping with it. Aw, I have kittens, and they definitely aren't as innocent sounding as your kittens. Let's see. Who do we got here? Longest one shot. If you feel up to it, you can send it in the Discord. I'll read it. 7 months old, one of them broken I know. Okay, maybe they aren't as innocent as I thought they were. Yeah, mine are about 6 and 7 months, I think. Yeah, 6 months and about 7 months, yeah. They're terrifying. They are terrors. They destroy the house. Mine, they can be sweet. They're like Sour Patch Kids, you know? Sour and sweet. Let's see. Like, I see like all these people make these videos of scary videos. Like, I don't want to watch someone watch videos. I just want to watch the videos that they're watching without the person, you know? Oh, you know what we could do? Hold on, can I find this thing? Hold on. Is this it? Hold on. You know that game where you like match the criminal to the mugshot? Let's play that. I feel like it's this. Yes, I found it. Okay, hold on. I found it. Why are they all wearing the same shirt? Were they all together? I've never done one of these. But, yeah, let's turn on a little background music. Anyway. So, this is a thing where you're supposed to match the crime to the mugshot. Let's see, we have cocaine possession, violating a protective order. What does that mean? Like a restraining order? Meth is dude number. That's what I was thinking already. Domestic battery, aggravated assault, meth possession. Okay, so we're pretty confident in this guy being the meth possessor, right? Really? You think she's aggravated assault? Because I feel like she could be the violating a protective order, you know? You know, like she's a psycho. Domestic battery. What's domestic battery? What's domestic battery? A successful... What? The actual act of violence. What is this? Someone tell me, what's domestic battery? Like hitting your part. Oh, okay. Girls are, oh gosh. I feel like this guy looks like he did that and he's just like, yep. Got what was coming for me. I feel like this guy sells cocaine. Yeah, I guess I could... I'm kind of conflicted because I feel like those two could be a little bit different. This guy looks sad though. I don't know. Cocaine is dude too? I feel like it's this guy. But he looks happy, you know. Let's go for this one. Let's see. Oh! We got 2 wrong! This guy was the aggravated assault, and this guy was the... Wait. I mean, this one was the domestic battery. This one was the aggravated assault. There were still... I mean, that's still, like, pretty good. Okay, we're just gonna keep going, I guess. Oh my god! What the fuck? What? She's crazy! She's crazy! You know, matching crimes to the mug shots. You know, the usual. Battery on a pregnant woman? What the fuck? DUI is girl number 2. Okay, so we have battery on a pregnant woman, murder, narcotics possession, driving while intoxicated, burglary. This one's in. Do you think this one's right? First is narcotics possession. She looks high as fuck. Yeah. This guy got hurt. I'm gonna say this is the burglar. Like, he got fucked up. Blockbuster. Like, I feel like they want you to put the murderer here. That's true. That's true. I feel like she could have hit a pregnant lady. You're okay. I'm gonna believe you. She looks like she hit a pregnant lady. And this guy's selling narcotics, but he was born to grill, but he's selling narcotics. Grilling wasn't working out. Grilling wasn't working out for him. Oh! She's the bird? I kind of thought she could have been the murderer, but I was like, you know, wow, dang. Oops, we got him all wrong. Which one did you think was what? The narcotic? No. Okay, what do we got? What is this? Match the arrestee with their alleged weapon. Okay. How the fuck do you attack somebody with an ice cream cone? What? A pickle jar? Hey, you wanna see these pickles? Imagine you turn and someone's coming at you with a pickle jar. I just can't. How? How is that even possible? And is this like a thermos over here? And what is this? Like a face. Thank you for following. Thank you. And is this like a curtain rod, or is it a towel rod? Okay. Honestly, okay, alleged weapon. Okay. Honestly, this lady went to the ice cream place, and no, this lady. Oh, that's hard. Adult toy used as a weapon. Oh jeez. I mean, like, one of these women Use the ice cream cone as a weapon. You know, add an ice cream parlor because their ice cream was wrong. I feel like this one more looks like, yeah, I threw that ice cream cone at that waiter. Thermos? Pickle jar? Ironing board. I don't know how you fucking beat the shit out of someone with an iron board, but okay. You pick that thing up, whack, 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 whack. Oh man, this is a hard one. Okay, I feel like she threw the pickles. He threw the thermos. Yeah, she's a Karen. She did the iron board, and this guy, I don't know. I feel like, hold on. I feel like she did this one. You know, like you whack someone with it. But the pickle, Like, I feel like he just can't believe he just got arrested for attacking somebody with pickles. You know? Like, he looks like, damn. I didn't think pickles were a weapon. And she looks like she knows she fucked up. And this looks most weaponry to me. This guy, he's like, yeah, I threw that thermos. And she just kind of looks alright. So I feel like she just had a mental breakdown with the board, the iron board. Fuck! I got it right though. He's the ice cream cone! He's Pickle Jar Guy! Dang! These are rough. These are rough. Really? He's the pickler. The pickler. And she did that? I just felt confident in the ice cream cone being one of these two. But he did the ice how? Okay, what do we got here? Poetic Justice. They're all like the same shirts, but like, what is this angle? So we got forgery. Oh wow, perfect for poetic justice. Solicitation of prostitution. Oh. Unlawful use of a weapon. Fentanyl possession. Probation violation. Oh my god. If I could talk today, that would be amazing. Okay. Who forged? Unlawful use of a weapon. Fentanyl. What is fentanyl? Fentanyl. Oh, an opioid. Okay. Opioid. Opioid. Fentanyl. Bad news. Bad news, Blue's Clues. Can kill you? Ooh. That's no good. Forgery. Solicitation. Okay. I feel like this guy looks like, damn. Yeah, I fucked that prostitute. Yeah. Ugh. Drugs are bad, okay? Don't do drugs. I feel like this guy... Ugh, maybe. I feel like he violated his parole. Or his probation or whatever. I feel like this guy's got the fentanyl. Hugs, not drugs. Oh yeah. I'm legal and Canadian. I'll do what I want. Do what you want, but within safe measures, okay? I feel like this guy fucked up with the weapon, and this guy just forged something. But I feel like they could be swapped. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm getting some right here? What do you think? I feel like this guy could be the forger, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Sorry, I watch Simply Nailogical, and she always does stuff with stuff. Hold on. Where are... I just noticed something. Hold on. Was this like this last time? Did I have... My model has straps. I feel like I might have turned them off, but I don't remember. Or maybe they just haven't been on this whole time. This guy forged documents? First is prostitution, fentanyl is last guy? This guy got a prostitute? You got straps or dust strap? Was it like this before? Hold on. Now it's just gonna drive me nuts. Gotta look. I think it was like this before in the strap. I'll just have to look into that. It's not that big of a deal. It looks fine right now. But it was supposed to have straps. It's a hard one to guess, to be honest. It is. Number one. Okay. This guy's got the fentanyl? But he's just so plain. I feel like it's not him. You know? I don't know either. I feel like what are the answers? What? 난데요. Crap. Okay, let's just try again. We don't know the answers. Okay. Well, prostitution. They're all innocent. My cat's in the way. How about that? Oh my god, no way! What? You guys are right. The first guy was the prostitute and the last one was the fentanyl dude. What? I thought I did that with the other one and it told me it was wrong the first time. Oh my gosh. That one's too hard. What is wrong? Why is freaking Dobby the fucking house elf on here? What the fuck? Ew. Oh, she is high, bro. Grand Theft Auto, tampering with evidence, obstruction of justice, driving under the influence, domestic violence. Dopey Jeff committed GTA. That guy committed GTA? I wouldn't want to try that one. I feel like this is her. This guy, domestic violence. What's the obstruction of justice? Like if you were interfering with someone? My cat is annoying. I feel like this guy is GTA, to be honest. But I mean, I've been wrong this whole goddamn time, so who knows? He tampered with evidence? Hmm. This is a hard one. I feel like no, this guy ain't drunk. She's definitely under the influence. I could see this guy being the domestic violence guy, but I don't know. Watch 3B tampering. I could see it. I thought about it. I just feel so confident. Like, she's high as fuck. Well, this guy looks like he could be drunk too. He just looks like he beat his wife or something. I feel like this guy would tamper with evidence. Oh my god. I told ya! He looked drunk, didn't I? This guy tampered with evidence? No way. What did he tamper with? I wanna know. Oh my god, the gang is all here. It's the cartoon. Look, we have Beavis and Butthead, The Simpsons, Scooby-Doo, Snoopy, and the Muppets. I should just start listening to you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this game. What the heck? What the heck? I'm cuddling my kitty. Hold on. Hi, kitty. You're so cute. Sorry, she's just adorable. Public lewdness? Well, if that's a crime. Narcotics possession, driving while intoxicated, burglary, statutory rape. Wow. This guy was publicly lewd. Yeah, I believe it. Okay. What about this guy? He looks kind of high. That guy did the rapey? I probably shouldn't say that like that. What about her? Well, man, I don't know. I feel like he would run around naked like a streaker. Yeah, I was gonna say, she looks like she's got narcotics. Then Berg, then DUI. Yeah. Okay, you guys are agreeing so nicely. At least a couple of you are. So I feel like it's gotta be right, right? Or not. Is there the... I wanna do the one where they... Oh god. What the fuck? These guys look insane! Marijuana possession, invasion of privacy, failure to signal lane change. Oh my god. Vehicle hijacking, disorderly conduct. What's a disorderly conduct? This guy's shirt really says Tootsie Roll. World's dopest dad. Gee, I wonder. That one's gotta be the marijuana possession, right? I feel like he could be too. I feel like she could have hijacked a vehicle, or he could have. I feel like maybe she failed to signal a lane change. She looks so pissed to be there. What is this? What is this? What are those? You know, just figuring out what crimes people have done. This guy's so stupid. I wonder if his is failure to lane change though, cause like. He's like, it's just so stupid. I'm getting my mugshot down. Let me just But dang. I feel like these are gonna be like switched or something stupid. But he's got a fucking marijuana shirt on. There ain't no way he didn't get arrested for marijuana. You know? This guy was the marijuana possession? Dude. Oh. This is hard. This is hard. Battery of victim over 65 years old. The jazz cabbage. What? What the heck is jazz cabbage? Assault on a family member, driving with a suspended license, a theft of a firearm, battery. Oh, jazz. Okay, I know what you mean. God, oh my gosh. Who beat their grandma? I feel like she does. And she straight up beat people. And oh my god, Nemo. Driving with a suspended license? That guy. She stole this and no. She stole the gun. She beat her sister. Fuck! Dang it! I almost put hers there too. This is like unreal! Oh my god, what is... They're all wearing sunglasses! Are they even allowed to do that? Okay, I'm just gonna guess randomly and see how much I get right if I guess randomly. One. I just wanted to see what are the chances I get them wrong if I'm not trying. Okay, let's try for real. For real. A security people. They're all security guards. Driving without a license. I feel like that guy. Battery. Harassment. Criminal mischief. What is criminal mischief? Marijuana possession. This guy? Hell, he looks like, what the heck is that guy's name from the show with the drugs? Their only crime being too cool. Too cool for this school. Harassment. Battery. What the heck is criminal mischief? What's criminal mischief? Well. Vandalism. Walter White! Yeah, that guy. God dang it. This is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. Ew, what the fuck? Ew. Well, she does fucking meth or something. Let's look at her arms. I would make a terrible cop, you're right. I would charge all the people for the wrong things. Bail jumping? What the frick is bail jumping? Arson. What's arson? Is that the fire? Receiving stolen property. Well, this guy probably driving under the influence. He's in a tie, which I feel like he probably went to a party and now he's fucked up and tried to go home. Arson. Oh my god, I can't, like, just looking at this woman's face makes me cringe. I hate it. Like, why? She's obviously on something. This guy's on something. What is bail jumping? Why is that man's titties out? Bail jumping. Like, you have a bond, so you keep. Bail jumping is a practice in which someone has been released on bail attempts to evade a court appearance with the intent of avoiding a trial possible. Okay. So they keep not going to their thing. What do you think? What do you guys think? Like, I feel like she could be the bail jumper. God, her face just makes me want to punch her. Like, ah! And like, what? So, get that stupid look out of your face, you dummy! You look so stupid! Slut! Stop looking so goddamn ugly! It just makes me angry. I won't. The monitor is too expensive for me to punch it. I feel like he could have been driving under the influence, though. God dang it. I had these two right. Then I switched them. This guy's the murderer? Oh my god. Meth possession? This guy works at Wendy's, or he did. Confident. Fuck! He's the meth possessor? Oh, he worked at McDonald's. Oh, all these people are Five Guys, Sonic, McDonald's, Wendy's, and I don't know what that is. Guys, I'm terrible at this. Ice Cube shirts. Oh my god. How do they think of this stuff? They're like, yeah, let's organize the criminals by what type of shirt they're wearing. Driving under the influence, riot and unlawful assembly, felon in possession of firearm, evading arrest, probation violation. That rhymes. Probation violation. Okay. Let's see here. Who's evading arrest or driving under the influence? This guy? Who's rioting? This looks like he'd do a riot. This guy's got a firearm. This guy was evading arrest and she probated her violated. Oh! We got 2 right! That's more than we've gotten in a long time! There was another... Oh, these are all drug shirts. There's another thing I wanted to do. I can't remember. I do! Stalker. Burglar. Theft. Murder. Methods. I have aged 10 years. Yeah. God. Okay. I'm bored of this now. I can't get any right. I'm not smart enough for this. Oh, let's see if I can find. I think I know what I was trying to look for the other thing. Hello? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Wordle Unlimited. Don't know what Bingo's player is. You banned someone and I didn't even see it. You're so good. Go crazy. He gone. I don't even know what he said, but he gone. He gone. Oh, wait. That's who you banned? Okay, I believe you. Okay. So, this is Wordle. Did he try to contact you about her extended car warranty? You know, I haven't got those calls in a long time, to be honest. TBH. Okay, let's... What are Bengals? Is this the right one? Probably. Doesn't matter. Same concept. Football team / a large cat. Well, I know they're a large cat, but like... Football team? Yeah, I don't do sports. Okay. How about toots? Toots. Toots getting fancy with those guesses. So the O and T are in the right places. Guys got any guesses? You guys want to make a guess? It's like Wordle. You gotta like guess, and like the green means the letter's in the right spot, and gray means the letter's not in the word. And yellow means it's in the word, but not in the right spot. That makes sense? No. You just kind of gotta guess. Can't be tooth, because the T isn't at the beginning. The T is only in this spot. What does that mean? What do you mean left or right? I mean, like, I only enter the letters left or right. I think I can move it and enter it in other spots, but... So I guess I could do this. Columns don't matter, yeah. Columns don't matter. It's just a word, a word, a word, a word, a word until you get it right. We can try goat. Thank you for the half hats. Oh. Goat's not a word. Articles. Who are you? Who am I? I'm Ew, the space cat. Yeah, once you get to the bottom, if you don't guess it, then you lose. You're a loosey loser. Fort? Ooh. I dropped my water. Ugh. Not fort. Wait! What am I waiting? The last letter? What can go after a T? Potentially it could be an O. It could be, no, it can't be an O, never mind. Yeah, it can't be any of those. Oh, you're right. It's Booth. It was a little slow, I'm sorry. Douse. Month? OMG. What? Mouth! We did it! What should our starter word be? What's a good starter word? Beans? Beans, beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. So there's an E and an S in our word. An E and an S. It's probably at the end. Maybe. But it might not be. It can't be, because the S can't be at the end. Never mind, I'm stupid. I'm big stupid. Oh wait, the second letter can't be an E. Steep. Dang! What? What's a word with S-T-E? My cat's blocking the screen. I was hoping making it smaller would make it so I could actually see half of it. Soup. Soup. Look at the mouse. Go over here. STE. I don't know. I feel like it might be like ET at the end. What vowels are left? Soup. Lay down. Good girl. IOU? You owe me what? Get it? Thank you. Thank you. Hi. Duh. Ooh! Ooh! Wait, no, there's no A. There's no A. That's... I don't know. Tough? Why? Oh, but does not have the words. Yeah. Let's do it anyway to see if there's any other. There's an O and an H! We have all the letters! It's the... Those? What are those? Oh! Nice. You're so smart. Okay. Let's go read someone. I'm kind of tired. I gotta go work tomorrow. I gotta go work tomorrow. I don't wanna. And I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. What are we reading? Yeah, let's rate her up. Or them. I like them. This looks cute. Alright, thank you. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Here, let me move them. Anyway. Thank you so much. I don't know where these... Where's the head pets? Okay, there we go. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm really glad that you're here. And you came. And if you're not following, make sure you follow. And if you're subscribed, you can use this raid message. And then if you are not subscribed, you can use this one with the cool cat with the sunglasses. And thank you so much for coming and being here. And I hope to see you on Sunday. I have it down. We'll play more Elden Ring Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what we're gonna be doing. We might do something else. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Okay, you have a great night. Thank you for coming.